All right, so good day and welcome again. On today's episode of the English language sound system, we're going to look at the vowel sound number three, which is the air sound. Okay, the previous vowels we have looked at are just two: the long E sound and the short E. All right, the videos are right there on the channel in the oral English playlist. Okay, do get familiar with the contents in that video. So today we're going to talk about the air sound. All right. Now, the air sound, it is short because it doesn't have a colon attached to it. It doesn't have this, assuming. So this suggests to us that it is short. Good. All right. This is because in the sound system, we have the long form of the air sound, which is written as this. And subsequently, we'll be looking into the air sound, the long air sound. But for the focus of today's class, we're going to look at the short air. All right. Now, remember that more often than not in the exam, any exam you may be preparing for as a viewer of this channel, more often than not, examiners test your knowledge of sounds, okay, in letters, because the English language system is made up of sounds and is made up of letters. Okay, these sounds we call them phonemes, while the letters are called graphemes. The sounds are called phonemes, while the letters are called graphemes. So this is sound and this is letter. Okay, so a phoneme is a sound and a grapheme is a letter. Excellent. All right, but when we study phonemes, that is sound, sounds occur in letters. That is what I'm saying. Sounds occur in letters. So whenever we teach sounds or whenever we want to get acquainted with sounds, we must get to know the letters wherein they occur. So that being said, the letters wherein the air sound occurs, number one, it occurs in the letters E. Okay, so when I have letter E in some English words, not all, the letter E produces the short air sound. For example, in most monosyllabic words like test, vex, pet, and so on, nest, next, net, and so on. All right, I will have the short air sound. So this will be transcribed as this. Vex will be transcribed as this. Pet will be transcribed as this. You see that? Excellent. So EA, or rather letter E, sorry, gives us the air sound. Okay. Number two, we also have the air sound occurring in words that have letters EA. Let's see some examples, as in the word WEAPON, which we call weapon. Weapon. Okay. EA. We have a transcription that looks this way. Okay. Weapon. Weapon. All right. We also have this sound in the word MEADOW. This is meadow, meadow, meadow. Okay, this is meadow. We also have the sound occurring in a word like pleasant, pleasant. So this is pleasant, ple. Right. We equally have this sound occurring in a word like measure, okay, pleasure, and even in a word we call uh, peasant. All of these words with EA produce the S sound. Measure, pleasure, peasant, peasant. You see that now? Excellent. Now, the third letter where I will find or I will have or I will perceive the S sound is in letters EI, with a typical example being the word LEISURE. So this is transcribed as leisure, leisure. You see that? Excellent. So in the words EI, or letters EI, sorry, we have the S sound present, as in the word leisure, right? Now, where else can we find the S sound? Number 4, let's call these letters EO. So I will have a word like the animal, the leopard. I will have a name like the boy, Leonard. I will have a word we call jeopardy, jeopardy, jeopardy. All right. Now, the letters EO in these words will give us the S sound. Okay. So this is jeopardy. All right. Jeopardy. Okay. This is Lena. Lena. Right. This is leopard. Okay. All right. There may be some omissions, but do focus on the letters that generate the sound. So from where we began, we have the E as in letter E, we have the E in letters EA, we have the E in letters EI, we have the E in letters EO. Okay, but you do recall that in a word, for example, as people, the EO here has a long E sound. The EO has a long E sound. Good. So a particular letter or combination of letters can produce a variety of sounds in the English language phonetics or phonetic system. Okay, so it's good you get familiar with the various sounds that can originate from a letter. Okay, for example, the letter E in focus can give us the long E sound, as in the word venal here. All right, the letter E again gives us a, as in the word vet. See that? The letter E again will give us the long air, as in the word verb. Look at it. VER, verb. One letter producing a lot of sounds. Okay? The letter E again can produce a short E sound, as seen in the word WOMEN, which is transcribed as women. Women. You see that? Good. So this is what I mean when I say you should endeavor to know all the sounds that can originate from a letter. Yes. So I've just used the letter E as a typical example to demonstrate this. All right. So we find the air sound, the short air in letter E, in letters EA, in letters EI, and in letters EO. Alright? And please, these letters may generate other sounds in the phonetic system. Okay? They are not just fixed to the short air sound. You see that? Excellent. So I'm going to wipe the board, and then we're going to look at the long air sound. Yes, we're going to take that as voice sound number 4. Okay? That's the long air sound. So that's our voice sound number 4 on the series. Good. So while we pronounce this slightly as air, we pronounce this with emphasis as in the word air. You see that? Good. So the difference between both being the attachment of a colon, letting us know that it's a long vowel, and hence when we pronounce, there must be emphasis. That is, you must stress your pronunciation. So let us see letters where the long air sound occurs. Number 1, the long air sound is going to occur in words that have letters ER. Okay? As in the word GERM, which we call germ, HERB, which we call herb, STERM, which we call sperm, TARM, which we call term. You see that now? STERN, which is called stern. PERT, which we call pert. Okay? And let's give, we will have a word like NERD, for nerd. Okay, so term will be transcribed as, please, you must master your transcriptions as well. Yes, no man is an island, true. We still make mistakes, but at the end of the day, practice is a step towards perfection. Okay, practice helps you make mastery of whatever it is you seek to learn. You see that? So this is germ, herb, sperm, term, stern, pert, nerve. I'll take that again. Germ, herb, sperm, term, stern, pert, nerve. All right. Now, the letters ER, as a matter of exception, we produce a sound we call ear. It's a diphthong. Let's do this here. The letters ER, we produce a sound known as ear, as in the word PIER. You see that? IER. So it will be transcribed as this. All right? In a word like tear, also, it will be transcribed as this. You see that? Excellent. So all these are exceptions to this rule. Okay? Now, number 2, the letters EA and sometimes EAR produces the long air sound. Let's see examples. We find this in words like SEARCH. This is transcribed as search. Okay? In a word like LEARN, which is learn. See that? EAR. Same in a word as learn, or we could say learning. Okay? Which means that the person is educated, or is intelligent, or is highly cerebral. Excellent. Okay. Now we also find this sound in words like early, early. We find this sound in words like end. Okay. We find it in a word like our very own terrestrial ball called the earth. The earth. Okay, so that's the earth. The earth. Okay, good. So search, learn, learning, early, earn, earth. Are we there? Good. So EAR gives us this sound. Now we have to equally note that EAR will produce a sound also known as ear, and sometimes it produces something we call air. Okay, let me put that here. The letters EAR produces ear or something we call air. All right. Now we find it in words like TEAR, which could either be a noun or it could function as a verb, and then it will have a transcription that is either this or this, depending on the case. Okay? Same thing happens in a word like NEAR, which is near, near. Same thing happens in a word like ear in itself, which is ear. You see that? Excellent. So let's see the odd letter where the S sound will occur. Okay, so number 3, the S sound will occur in letters IR. If a word has letters IR, it will produce the S sound. So I guess it's as good as yours. Words as pen, words like the word stare, words like the word birth. See that? Good. Words like the word MIRTH, birth. So this is F, long S sound, and M, ST, long B, and theta, M, and theta. See that? Excellent. So whenever we put a sound in brackets, it means two things. One, it is a style of transcription. Okay. Some English language users, when transcribing, do not introduce sounds in brackets, especially when these sounds, their presence or absence has no significance, has no effect. The sound is basic. Yes, that is, the sound can do without that particular symbol. So we either do not attach it, or if we want to, as a matter of phonetic courtesy, we can introduce that sound, but in a bracket. Okay? Now, the fourth letter where I find the S sound is in letters UR. Remember, we're coming from letters ER, letters EAR, letters IR, and now we have letters UR. Letters UR, we'll find this sound in words like purse, we'll find it in words like spurn, we'll find it in words like churn, we'll find it in a word like turn. So purse is this, spurn is this, churn is this, turn is this. Very easy. All right, so that's for UR. Okay, so even a word like CURSE, which is curse, curse. Okay, we have that sound there. Now, let's see some other letters that produce this sound. We have number 5. We have the letters O, U, R, as in the word JOURNEY, which is journey, 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 journey. We have a word we call scourge, scourge. See that? Scourge. Okay? We have a word we call curtsy, curtsy. Okay? Let me to do this curtsy. And we have a word we call courteous, courteous. Right? So these are examples of words with OUR that possess the long air sound. Right? So number 6, let's call this category others. Okay? Others meaning more examples of a word that we probably missed and forgot to mention here. Okay? So we'll have a typical example as in the word kennel, which most native speakers pronounce as colonel, or some call it colonel. Okay, but it's actually pronounced as kennel. Now, it will have a transcription that looks this way: kennel, kennel. Okay, I think there should be kennel, kennel. You see that? Excellent. Okay, which other words can we have possessing the air sound? Can I think of any? Okay, yes, we have BERTH. This is bird. We have we can recall to heart. I think that should do. All right, so that's that. All right. What else do we need to mention here that we need to know? I think that should do. Okay, so with this, we are actually done with 2 important sounds. Okay, I have to pair them because they sound almost the same way, except for the lack of intensity on the short air sound and the presence of emphasis in the long air sound. Now, what are you expected to do as a student or candidate preparing for an exam? You should have past questions. Yes. So take your past questions on the English language, go to the oral English section, and pick questions on these sounds, these 2 that we have looked at, and apply the things that you have learned. Okay, to be sure, to be certain that you are getting impeccable knowledge. This is where we got the content for today. Do stay glued to this channel for more enlightening, academic, and educative contents right here, English with Techno. Until next time, subscribe to the channel, share our videos or our channel links with your friends, colleagues, or fellow examinees. Let them know of what we do here. Thank you.